Allora, se permettete, io vorrei cominciare di nuovo ringraziando le autorità italiane, a cominciare dalla Presidente del Consiglio nazionale, Lella Bottigelli, dalla governatrice del distretto 210, Lorenza Carbone, naturalmente dalla rappresentante nazionale Ebbe Martinez e Charlotte De Vos per essere state qui, non solo, anche le governatrici degli altri distretti, e vi ringrazio ancora per l'attenzione e la vostra presenza, mi fa molto piacere. Una sessione straniere. Tutto il lavoro fatto, noi abbiamo stamattina parlato di tante cose, ma comunque un convegno dell'Inner Wheel, una conferenza dell'Inner Wheel. The Role of Inner Wheel. Qual è questo ruolo dell'Inner Wheel? Come l'Inner Wheel poi attua tutta una serie di politiche condivise? Nei vari paesi del mondo ce lo spiegheranno le nostre illustri speakers. Purtroppo non abbiamo la presenza di Catherine Lefebvre, past president internazionale, perché purtroppo per un malessere del marito non è potuta essere qui, con grande dispiacere ha dovuto annullare proprio un paio di giorni fa, non essere qui, però è con noi nello spirito. Passo la parola adesso a Nelly Bratoeva, che è in board director dell'International Inner Wheel, oltre che amica e organizzatrice di Women for Europe 6. Nelly, a te la parola. Mi seggo là così ti lascio libero.
Dear Gabriela Manieri, my dear, Chairman of the Organizing Committee of Women for Europe 7 and President of Inner Wheel Club Naples, Luisa Bruni, dear Luisa Vinciquera, dearest Luisa, author of the project Women for Europe 6 Role of Inner Wheel, dear Italian Inner Wheel officers, dear International Inner Wheel President Charlotte De Vos, dear guests of our conference, my Inner Wheel friends presented here. I had the responsibility and the honor to be the chairman of the Women for Europe 6 conference held in my town, in my country, in Bulgaria last year. The focus was Expo Milan 2015. The project of Inner Wheel Club Torino Europea, Nutrition and Sustainability, gave wild possibilities for every Inner Wheel Club all over the world. And today, I am invited here, and I will present some results to all of you. Women for Europe 6 brings good results to International Inner Wheel. New club was born in the town of Varna, Inner Wheel Club Varna Europea. All members successfully devoted their first activities of Milan Expo 2015. They all focused on the topic nutrition and sustainability. Members of this young club are glad to report 3 projects for less than 1 year. Now, one of them will be presented to you. That's why I would like to say thank you first to our Inner Wheel friend from Inner Wheel Club, Luisa Bruni, owner of the project Women for Europe. Second, to the author of the project Women for Europe, Luisa Vinciquera. Inner Wheel friends, Women for Europe, role of Inner Wheel, bring to all members new possibilities to work together, to share ideas, and to do a lot for the society. Every idea brings another one. Inner Wheel Club Torino Europea became a sponsor club of Inner Wheel Club Varna Europea. This way, Women for Europe 6 contributed about international Inner Wheel extension. But this is not all. Europea Inner Wheel clubs already exist in Arezzo Toscana Europea, Bordeaux Alienor Europea. We are waiting for Vienna Europea and other, of course. Working together is a pleasure. This is a privilege to us. Dear friends, that's why I really believe in the message women better know how to think in the plural. Women for Europe role of Inner Will Conference is a proof. I introduce now to you the Charter President of Inner Will Club Varna Europea, Evelina Sutirova, to present the project of the club.
Dear Gabriella Manieri, Chairman of the Organizing Committee, dear International Inner Will President Charlotte Vos, dear Inner Will officers in service, dear friends. Ahead to Expo Milano 2015, Health and Food for Happiness, teaching the young people of Varna to cook healthy food, is a project of Inner Will Club Varna Europea realized in cooperation with Rotary Club Varna. Our partners are Municipality of Varna and Youth Activity and Sport Department, Medical University of Varna, Professional School for Tourism Varna, Group Color Bulgaria, Biofarm Raikus Garden Village of Ureshak. The Rotaract and the Interact clubs in Varna joined the project as partners participants. The project is sponsored by Varna European Youth Capital 2017 of Municipality of Varna. Slide 2, maybe. What has inspired us? Women for Europe 6 2014 was held in Varna under the slogan Ahead to Expo Milano 2015. This provoked us to look ahead to some new possibilities for our future. Then, the town of Varna was presented as candidate to European Youth Capital 2017. Since then is our cooperation with Municipality of Varna. The current project is based on the theme of this year's World Expo Milano 2015, Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life. For the first time in the center of this grander event is placed the food accessible to every regular person. Within 6 months, more than 100 exhibitors, countries, international organizations, civic organizations and companies had presented. All of them shared, discussed, exchanged and traded ideas, technologies, experience and innovative solutions about several absolutely fundamental problems of the mankind. The right to food that is healthy, safe and sufficient. The environmental, social and economic sustainability of the food chain. The preservation of taste and of food culture. Women for Expo make us to form our project goals. Our desire is to fight the wrong nutrition habits due to established irregular behavioral patterns, lack of information, stress and busy life, commercial pressure, lack of practical culinary skills or fear from experimenting or just neglecting or underestimating of the theme of healthy nutrition. We are going to support the cultivation of good nutrition habits in the young people and aspiration for daily care for the regular nutrition, to raise awareness and higher expectation about the quality of food. The participants in the project acquire valuable quality knowledge and skills for having better confidence to meet the challenges in the kitchen and the homemade food. The requirements of the program Varna European Youth Capital 2017 include young people of age between 15 to 28. Preparing the project included next steps. In July, the project organizers from Inner Club Varna Europea, have met with members of Rotaract and the Interact clubs in Varna to discuss together the oncoming project events. A real interest was shown by all of them. On 50th of August was launched the website of the project with detailed description of the activities, information about the organizers Rotary Club and Inner Club, and with application form for the participants. Phase 1 included lectures presenting the principles of the healthy nutrition. Dr. Alica Geleva, member of Bulgarian Academy Sciences and chairman of Group Core Bulgaria, was the first lecturer in the project. She introduced to the participants the Phenomenon Expo, this year edition of Expo Milano 2015, Feeding the Planet Energy for Life, and the history of food in Expo. Cycle of lectures for the regular nutrition, the food qualities and some food-related health disorders have been presented by Professor Dr. Darina Naidinova and Dr. Elena Dimitrova, doctors of healthy nutrition and dietetics, professor and assistant in the Medical University in Varna. First, alphabet of healthy nutrition. Second, nutrition and weight. Third, alternative nutrition. Fourth, diet and beauty. Fifth, eating disorders. Sixth, food and nutrients essential for health. Which food will help us avoid the most common nutritional deficiencies. Seventh, water, energy, and refreshing alcoholic beverages. What is the best to drink? Second phase, visit to a biofarm, picnic and team building on 4th October 2015. Raikov's Garden is a non-formal group of nature-loving agrarians from the village of Oreshak near Varna. Their production is growing without using products of the chemical industry. They only use what the nature has provided. There will coming many guests wishing to see Raikov's Garden, to share experience and ideas. To those who are enthusiastic to grow their own pure products, they give help with advices and seeds and their best wishes. It was a pleasure for everyone to be a guest in Raikov's Garden. Phase 3, cooking and presenting the food, culinary party, and rewards. For the third project phase, cooking, are selected 12 healthy recipes awarded in the competition, the favorite healthy recipe of my family, held from 1st May to 3rd June 2015. It's the first project conducted by Inner Club Varna Europea. Later, every one of participants got a booklet. The participants in the project exercised their cooking skill in the professional kitchen of the Professional School for Tourism Varna. Some of you who were in Varna 2014 will recognize the Women for Europe 6 Hotel Dimiat, the tall building behind the school, the second picture. The youth were preparing the food, conducted by experienced cook teacher. For the project's needs, the gymnasium had provided 2 kitchens, each for up to 6 students. The meal was prepared in shifts. After the culinary course, every prepared dish was tested during a special tasting cocktail party organized in the Old Varna Museum. The place is known for the participants of Women for Europe 6. Beside the project, participants, their families and friends also were invited to come. Everyone received a certificate. In the end, the booklet with 12 selected healthy recipes was given to all guests of the tasting cocktail. Thank you.
Please, I think we have to respect some time because every speaker has got 5 minutes and I think you did twice. I thank you very much. I thank you very much. Oh, I forgot to say something. I have to say, buonasera, devo dire una cosa, devo ringraziare la ditta Molisana. I have to thank the Molisana pasta maker, who is our sponsor. So thank you very much. Grazie alla ditta Molisana che ci ha sponsorizzato. Prego la prossima speaker, Asnadel Mortaggi dell'Egitto, Board Director dell'International Inner Wheel. I please you, Asnadel, it's my pleasure to welcome you at Women for Europe 7. I'm sorry to remind speakers that we have just 5 minutes. Prego di ricordare alle speakers, alle relatrici che hanno un tempo di 5 minuti per dare la possibilità a tutti di poter parlare. Grazie.
Madam President and honored guests, I will limit my salutations in order not to take time. NGOs in support of sustainable health and lifestyles, let's move, and we have to move together. Health and lifestyle literacy promotes healthy living and well-being of society in general, and young children in particular. Improving health literacy is conducive in empowerment if practiced at an early age. Unhealthy eating habits and lifestyles contribute dangerously to the ever-increasing epidemic of obesity worldwide. Healthy food and environments is a comprehensive framework that includes home, school, communities, practices, legislature, and agricultural policies focusing on macro-level environments, physical environments, social and individual environments and factors. NGOs initiatives in all countries, we have definite curricula. What NGOs do through innovative initiatives can be crucial in creating trends that will have lifelong outcomes and will help children avoid obesity and disease. In today's presentation, I'm talking about some initiatives in my country, Egypt. Awladi is an example of an Egyptian orphanage NGO playing a role in enhancing national curriculum and practicing a hands-on experience on children planting themselves, planting and harvesting healthy food and produce. These early habits become their stepping stones to health and well-being. Health literacy empowers children to appreciate the benefits of healthy food and making the right lifestyle decisions. Moving across the ocean to the United States, let's move. The First Lady, Mrs. Obama, started the Let's Move initiative to change the way a whole generation of kids thinks about food and nutrition and to fight the trend of obesity and disease in the young. Her passionate enthusiasm has inspired initiatives in other countries to practice her 5 pillars. Creating a healthy start for children, focusing on healthy foods and lifestyles, empowering parents to question the ingredients, as we saw how important the ingredients of the food we eat are, recommending healthy foods in schools and all environments, not only the home and school, increasing physical activity as a motto, and facilitating the process, the access to healthy foods and affordable food. When she planted this Let's Move movement, her ideas became action. NGOs' hands-on health initiatives. Egyptian NGOs, ESCD, Khairan Baraka, and Awladi are examples of extracurricular interactive initiatives that provide numerous children in Egypt the chance to practice principles of health education in an ambiance of fun. And of course, this is better retention. Organizing presentations by a variety of dynamic speakers, games, etc., workshops. This is helpful with lifestyle change, and change is difficult, but if we start young, it's possible. NGOs' parents as partners in healthy lifestyles. NGOs enlist parents as partners in the well-being of their children by involving them in the interactive activities. Our NGOs contribute in helping children go beyond the traditional curriculum and promote daily exercise, playing sports, walking, physical activities, etc., so that the whole point is physical activity is not an option, it's a necessity. Healthy cooking demonstrations at ESCD and Awladi are learning experiences promoting healthy habits and choices at a young age. Learning about nutrients, vitamins, and important factors is very important, but also practicing what are the safe quantities. And this way we can avoid all sorts of diseases, from obesity to diabetes to osteoporosis, stroke, dental, and etc. Healthy organic food outlets. The availability of organic food contributes to better health through reduced pesticide exposure and nutrient quantities and quality without absorbing toxic effects. Natural is an available marketplace, farmers market in Egypt, that help promote prevention of disease. Many NGOs and small businesses are committed to producing fresh organic fruits and vegetables, dried fruits, homemade jams, fresh virgin oil, olive oil, grass-fed meat, etc. Investing in the organic sector is a proactive vote for a sustainable future for our children and future generations. I actually shop there. À la carte literature. We have à la carte menus, but here we have à la carte literature for healthy food and lifestyles. NGOs such as SED have an impact on children through collaboration with authors who write with a tailored objective. One such author is Nazih Girgis, an Egyptian writer who is passionate about children, education, and development. His recent book, The Dolphin Park, partially inspired by Mrs. Obama's Let's Move initiative, addresses the issue of healthy eating and exercise habits to avoid obesity. Actually, she did send him a thank you letter for using this book in her campaign. In conclusion, healthy choices for life as optimal defaults. Improving dietary and lifestyle patterns and reducing obesity will require a combined and sustained, and the key word here is sustained, public health effort addressing not only individual behaviors, but also the environmental context and conditions in which people live and make choices. With our NGOs' help, our ultimate goals for our future generations should be to help them base their nutritional and lifestyle decisions on the natural choice, the ultimate choice of healthy behaviors as optimal defaults. Mille grazie, thank you. And in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic, thank you.
Thank you, Asnadel. Please have a seat. Thank you very much. Thank you for your speech. Yes, no, would you like to? Now let me introduce you. Gabriele Schrems of Austria, Gabriele Schrems dell'Austria dovrebbe essere qua, she should be here, but she's immediate past chairman, District 192, dovrebbe essere qui la rappresentante del distretto dell'Austria, non c'è, perché è dovuta partire, è venuta al convegno per una questione di orari di aerei, è dovuta andare via, e c'è un'amica austriaca che legge, ti prego di venire, could you please come to read her speech? Sì, è Gabriele. Da una Gabriele a una Gabriella di Grazio. Da una bruna a una bionda. Sempre un'amica. Grazie.
Good afternoon to all. You just asked me this morning at about 9 o'clock. So I don't know if there are slides or just to read this. Maybe only the paper. Okay. I'm Gabriele from Florence, Inner Wheel Club Firenze Medicia. Yes. Yes. So I start now. Quality and safety of food and bio-food in Austria. She's talking from Austria. What is food quality and safety? In order to talk about the quality and safety of food and bio-food, some definitions are needed. The first one is to determine what is understood as quality when it comes to food. The available definition one can find are endless, ranging from quality characters of food that is acceptable to endless ranging consumers as such an appearance, texture and flavor. To quality is what you think the competition thinks to standard is. A globalization is steadily growing. It is hardly surprising that the production, processing, as well as the trade of food is covering international linked networks. Food safety, coming from this process, is defined as a general term for a measures as well as the concept taken, which should ensure that food for the end consumer is safe enough to be consumed and no health restriction and dangers appear. Looking at the definition, it can be argued that when it comes to food, quality is what the consumer demands and therefore buys, and safety refers it to the products are safe for the human consumptions. In Austria, both criteria seem to be fulfilled in the sense that the available food is safe and the products produced in Austria are generally considered as having a high quality, therefore there is a demand for them. Certain labeling and auditing mechanisms like the AMA Gütesiegel, a food label which gets audited independently, ensure these two aspects to a certain degree. Obviously, sometimes incidents with food safety occur. The most recent scandal was that pollutant HCB was found in the cheese from an Austrian dairy production company. Although these scandals happen, they are not of a frequent occurrence and the food is still widely accepted and safe. The difference between food and bio-food in Austria. The European Community Directive 834 from 2007, as well as the, this is in German, Biodurchführungsverordnung 889/2008, defined a rule over the whole food production cycle. On biofood within member states of the European Community, including Austria. Within this regulation, it is stated that at least 95% of the dry matter used to produce the food product has to come from organic or biologic farming. If a product fulfills this criterion, it can be called organic, biological, bio, according to the European Community. The most important principles for organic or bio-food production in Austria are that the production needs to be energy efficient, or in another word, restricts itself from using external energy. For this reason, artificial fertilizers are not used in the biological food production, as the production of these fertilizers is high energy intensive. The next principle is the using of natural self-regulating mechanisms. Through support of beneficial insects, animals, as well as using suitable special of plants and animals, disease, pests and weeds can be restricted. It is tried to have closed circuit circulation concerning everything that is used at an agricultural production site, like compost and farm manure. Nourishment of the soil instead of the plants is the next principle. Through careful treatment of the soil and the usage of compost soil, nutrients get activated. Following those principles ensures a relative protection towards the environment. Food consumption and production in Austria. The main problem that can be identified when it comes to food in Austria is actually neither the quality for the safety, but rather the affluence which is portrayed in the consumption of food products. This consumption leads, among various other problems, for a high amount of food waste. With a consumption about 774 liters, including tap water, of food products a year, the dates are from 2010-2011, Austrians are clearly consuming more than it is necessary. In this regard, consuming refers to buying and not actually eating, as recent studies say. On average in Europe and Austria, between 40 and up to 300 kilos of food are thrown away every day. This is not only a big problem for the environment as good gets produced. This is not needed, but also an economic problem, as consumers in Austria through about 300 and 400 euros each year, which could be spent differently and frankly more wisely. The amount of bread which gets destroyed and redo products every day in Vienna would be enough to supply the second biggest city in Austria, Graz, where Gabriella is from. There's a movie, We Feed the World. In a newly published article in 2015 now about grounding ceilings, it is estimated that in order to self-sustain the Austrian population, an area of 3,000 square meters of farmland per person is needed a year. Currently, there are only 1,600 square meters per person available, which leads to the unpleasant reconsumption that about 1,400 square meters of farmland outside of Austria are used by each Austrian. Assuming the whole Austrian production is used within Austria, this would mean that at least 46% of individual consumed food is imported. The combination of high import as well as throwing away up to a third of a bought products is bad for the environment and needs to be changed. What is considered food waste? Food preparation leftovers. This type of food waste occurs during cleaning and preparation of fruits, vegetables, fish, meat, and consists to a large portion as not edible parts of food product. eggs, shells, bone, etc. Food leftovers, the classic leftovers on your plate. Original food products, part of bigger packaging units of our whole unit and unpacked food product. A whole apple. Open food products. Half-used packages, partly cut food products. Except for the first type of waste, food preparation leftovers, all other types of food waste on theoretically be avoided by careful planning, shopping, storage, processing and using. What can Inner Wheel Austria do? There are several projects in Austria trying to counteract this food waste. A company in Vienna produces jam made out of fruits which were not good enough for the shops because their aesthetic reasons and not compliance with the norm, and therefore thrown out at the producers and before ever seeing in a retailer. By making it into jam or stew, the company takes away all the aesthetics used and so-called waste. Waste of the production to deliver already produced and otherwise discarded food to the consumer. A positive trend that can be observed is that more and more people start growing their own vegetables as well as fruits. People who live in the countryside are usually more likely to do this due to available land to grow own, but it can be that people in cities who have little access to land use the little space they have, a balcony, to grow as a seasonal product themselves, and counteract with this waste for the big producers at less food in demanded. Another project currently surfacing in Austria is community-supported agriculture project. The idea behind this is that the farmer seeks about 50 and 100 customers, depending on the farm size, and only produces for those fixed customers, which provide the farmer through advanced financing. Therefore, the farmer doesn't overproduce and can still survive in his business while the agriculture activity is done sustainable. Some groups in Austria are now trying to mainly focus the attention on the waste the population creates. I'm a little bit ashamed, but Inner Wheel Austria was not active in these topics till ever now. Our clubs are very busy with fundraising and charity projects, but to take over the responsibility for food, food waste, food sharing was not in the program of our clubs. But this is not too late, and I really hope that we can focus our projects also in this subject to leave our children a better world. Thank you for your attention.
Do la parola a un'amica, Jasmine Seri dell'isola di Réunion, vice governatrice del distretto 920. A te, Jasmine.
Good afternoon. Botanical and ethnocultural heritage generational from in Reunion Island. Reunion Island, one of the youngest islands in the world, only 3 million years ago. The small volcanic island is considered the global center of biodiversity. 42% of the island are a national park, covered with the original virgin habitat, with endemic plants. The uniqueness of the biota is, with great diversity of vegetation, is due to its complex topology, its climate variation, more than 100 microclimates. You can see here vegetation in the littoral, then rainforest, and then you have cloud forest with many native orchids, and then heath in the mountains. The history of medicinal plants began with the origin of life in Reunion Island only 350 years ago. People started to discover and acquire a quite extensive knowledge on the use of medicinal plants, and all along the centuries, they have made an extensive list of medicinal plants to ease aches and pains, more than a medical treatment. Herbal medicine is a form of aid and a complement to modern medicine in Reunion Island. Aplamidum. Aplamidum composed of doctors, chemists, industrials, academics, and farmers, as well as traditional practitioners. They promote awareness and knowledge about medicinal plants of the island by means of conferences, exhibitions, books, and events. After years and years of identifying new molecules and studying toxicity and efficacy, 16 local plants are added to the French and European pharmacopoeia in 2013, and now there are 22 plants in this pharmacopoeia. In 2006, further to the urgency of preservation and transmission of a valuable traditional knowledge, Aplamidum decided to organize a yearly educational project named Herbage Pays. It's a competition of herbariums among students from primary to high school. All along the year, students meet with botanists, traditional practitioners, they visit distillation facilities, and they realize herbal gardens at school with the support and help of our Inner Wheel clubs in Reunion Island. They also have a questionnaire about the plants they chose to work on from a list of non-toxic plants, collecting precious data from elderlies, enabled them to meet with their cultural heritage and forge strong links with different generations. They learn about the useful plants, build an inventory of family practices on aromatic and medicinal plants, and participate actively in the transmission of the knowledge. It's important to create a true cohesion between researchers, medicinal practitioners who transmit their recipes, families who make the verbal transmission, and the students who transcribe the tradition in writing. Children are the citizens of tomorrow at the heart of the concern of sustainability. So they have to learn how to consume and how to preserve. Accio. Oh, sorry. I lost a slide. This was for the project. And now Accio. Accio, a French renewable energy power producer, has developed an innovative concept in my island named agri-energy, which combines renewable energy with responsible farming on the same site. Reunion Island lends itself perfectly to this complex because of its sunshine. So, agri-energy systematically incorporates an agricultural section in power plants, be it between solar ground-mounted panels or in greenhouses. Accio offers two possibilities. Either they finance and set up all the required photovoltaic equipment on farmers' land, and they pay one symbolic euro for the use of electricity. Or they buy themselves lands and set up the ground-mounted panels and greenhouses, give these lands to farmers who will farm the land for one symbolic euro. And we can say that the farming of medicinal and aromatic plants is really adapted to this concept. And beekeeping is very important. So in conclusion, I will say that working on this topic was really interesting for me. So when I'm chairman District 920 next year, I would like to subject the club's a project of therapeutic gardens in hospitals and retirement homes. Sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jasmine, for your work. Grazie, Jasmine, del tuo lavoro. Ho il piacere di dare la parola alla Nur Ustas Kizilkaya. Is it fine? della Immediate Past governatrice del distretto 242, Turchia. Benvenuta.
Madam President, dear International Inner Wheel board members, district governors, club presidents, dear Luisa Vinci-Guerra, and the chairman and the committee members of this beautiful meeting. Now, I would like to say my feelings to you. It's my privilege and my honor to be invited to here as one of the panelists. And the second, I should express our deepest condolences to our French friends and the members for the terrorism. Now, my subject is food quality and safety is important for happier futures and better lives. We are what we eat. The birthright of all living things is health. This law is true for soil, plant, animal, and man. The health of these four is in a connected chain. Any weakness or defect in the health of any earlier link in the chain is carried on to the next and succeeding links until it reaches the last, mainly man. Sir Albert Howard said, 1945. What makes a quality food? Lack of disease-causing organisms or naturally occurring chemicals that cause health problems. Nutritional taste. What is food safety? Preservation and handling, microbial contamination, bioterrorism, naturally occurring toxins, pesticides, and other toxics. The fermented foods to prevent spoilage cheese. Nutritional quality of organic produce, taste and other qualities of organic. Now, safe food for all. There is a shared responsibility. Who are the partners of this responsibility? Government, consumer, industry, and trade. Government contains food legislation and enforcement, advice for industry and trade, consumer education, information gathering and research, provision of health-related services. What about consumer? Educated and knowledgeable public, discriminating and selective consumers, safe food practices in the home, community participation, active consumer groups, and as inner wheels, we can make role in this part for educating the people, usually, especially the women and the girls. What about industry and trade? Good practices by primary producers and distributors, quality assurance and control of processed food, appropriate processes and technology, trained managers and food handler, informative labeling and consumer education. Who should participate in food safety? General public. We are, as a word, general public. Consumer association. Special groups in district governments. Parents of school children. School teachers. Other target groups. What is the objective? Increase awareness in food safety. Then we can make role in here. What kinds of participation? Participation in reviewing food legislation, food safety standards, participation in consumer education, participation in food safety campaign, participation in monitoring the safety of food, and other kinds of participation. Food safety is shared responsibility among government, food control agencies, all parties involved in the food chain, including primary production, handling, storage, processing, packaging, transportation, distribution, and sale of food products and consumers. Consumers need to be made aware of this importance of food safety in protecting themselves against food safety hazards, both in the choice and preparation of food. Now, women can make a big role for the preparation of food. Food control systems should be developed and implemented in a transparent manner. The confidence of consumers in the safety and quality of the food supply depends on their perception of the integrity and effectiveness of food control operations and activities. Therefore, it's important that stakeholders, including consumers, are allowed to participate in reviewing food legislation where appropriate. For effective and efficient participation, target group of consumers should be in accordance with the kind of objective of participation. Government, in cooperation with stakeholders or other agencies, should establish a diversity of approaches to enhance consumer awareness and participation in food safety. A framework based on the need analysis should be developed for consumer participation and empowerment program. Save the food and free the product from hazardous substance. Now, exploring the whole story of food enables children to improve their eating habits. Are local and organic food systems an answer? Backyard gardening the best with respect to trust and ecological soundness? The general failure in the last three links, plant, animal, human, is attributed to the failure in the first link, the soil. The undernourishment of the soil is the root of all. The failure to maintain in a healthy agriculture has largely cancelled out all the advantages that we have gained from improvements in hygiene and housing and medical discoveries. Now, Sir Albert Howard said, to retrace our steps is not really difficult once we set our minds to the problem. If we are unwilling to conform to a natural law, we shall rapidly reap the reward, not only in a flourishing agriculture, but in the immense asset of an abounding health in ourselves and our children's children. Now, what we did as District 242 in Turkey, in Istanbul and Kırklareli, as it is mentioned in the above slide, we believe that the first link is the soil and started to work on it. We carried out first International Earth Acetic Ground Healing Workshop project in Kırklareli on 21st of April by the sponsorship of our joint clubs, Innerville Club of Dolmabahçe, Dalyan and Beyoğlu. It was the acidic healing soil and workshop for liming the soil. We were with IVs from Bulgaria, Rotarians, Australia, Rotaract, and many NGOs and Chamber of Commerce members. While we were strengthened our friendship, we pointed out that soil is important for food quality and safety. So, do we have time? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your attention, and good afternoon to you all.
Thank you. Grazie Nur. Ho il piacere di invitare a parlare Ritva Jattela, I don't know how do you pronounce it, non so come, Jattela, della Finlandia, segretaria del club di Espo Tapiola.
Dear ladies, I am honored to have the possibility to talk to you today. For the 5th Women for Europe conference that was held in Finland last year, Luisa Vinciguerra sent a paper on feeding the planet. And that paper was my inspiration in choosing my theme of today. What can Innerville do to reduce the amount of food waste? That is a subject that some of the panelists have already touched earlier today. And also our first speaker, Claudia Sorlini, this morning told us that 1/3 of all food produced is globally lost or wasted. It means 1.3 billion tons of food annually. 2 billion people could be nourished with that food. It would mean eradication of malnutrition in the world. This is not divided evenly. In Western countries, food is wasted over 10 times more than in sub-Saharan Africa or in Southern Asia. Here, food waste is mainly related to consumer behavior, and to lack of coordination within the supply chain. For example, in Finland, households are responsible for more than 1/3 of all wasted food. The food waste in industrial countries must be reduced. Awareness raising is the key to change. The thing is that when we learn about something important, more and more of us feel the need to act. The movement grows, and in the end also politicians and decision makers in different levels become involved. Then things start to change. We have some examples here. They are from Finland, but of course similar development has taken place in many other countries too. And more can be done. I believe working together is the key. In Finland, 120 organizations focus their actions together to arrange an annual food waste week. They're creating visibility, improved media coverage, and increased impact through their shared actions. Our students in Laurea prepare about 3,000 meals from surplus food that is donated by retail sector and deal them out in one of the week's events. Other examples of the activities include, for example, a group of school kids in Finland suggested that in their school, surplus food should be sold to local people instead of throwing it away. Now the model has been adopted in several public kitchens, and our Bar Laurea is also planning to start daily distribution of surplus food. Food factories and professional kitchens are measuring the quantity of waste food resulting from the preparation process and as leftovers. In Bar Laurea, customer leftovers are weighted and the daily results are communicated to customers, and our students are increasingly paying attention to what they leave on their plates when they come to eat. Also, top chefs are designing recipes and preparing meals from waste food in media to increase interest in this. NGOs are arranging different courses and online sites on sustainable consumption of food in households. There are several initiatives to organize neighbors to share their surplus food with each others. Retail stores are donating their safe surplus food to NGOs and parishes for distribution to those in need. One of the projects the increased interest has led to is Yhteinen pöytä, shared table if translated into English. In this project, two large actors, City of Vantaa and the Lutheran Church in Vantaa together, invested in a large storage space and organized for surplus food to be collected, stored, and distributed while maintaining the safety of food during the process. What makes this case unique is the collaboration of a large number of organizations. Today, 15 retailers and 2 food factories weekly supply for 7,000 kilos of waste food, while 15 NGOs and 10 parishes and community centers distribute the food for those in need. Now, what can inner wheel clubs do to reduce food waste? Well, I would encourage inner wheel clubs to be active and efficient in the awareness raising. We could provide information and education. We could work to influence our local reference groups, as we already heard from some of the other panelists too. We could initiate local campaigns and events for the households to bridge the path between knowledge and action. We could take charge of the network creation, contact other local actors, and combine our efforts in an action to gain momentum. In many countries, programs designated to food waste already take place. There we could connect with the existing initiatives to enforce their impact. one thing is sure, we need to act to make impact. And the future relies on all of us. Thank you.
Grazie Ritva. Adesso l'ultima delle nostre speakers, come last but not least, è il Betty Balman del club di Girne, Nord Cipro. Cipro Nord.
Mrs. President and distinguished members and guests, as the final speaker of the session, my contribution to this conference of Growing Europe's Future is going to be about prevention and education of the major social diseases. For a very long time, the impact of chronic social diseases have been underappreciated or neglected by health systems and by society in terms of their social and economic effects on people as a whole. And as more attention has been given to infectious diseases like HIV or hepatitis, particularly in low and middle-income countries, these social diseases have been associated with rich and industrialized nations. However, chronic diseases of obesity, cardiovascular disease, some specific cancers, stroke, diabetes, hypertension, and respiratory diseases are now the major causes of morbidity and mortality across the globe, both in developed and developing countries. These diseases, beyond genetics and social inequalities, share the major risk groups of tobacco use, unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, lack of access to preventive care. And prevention of these diseases require changes in behaviors related to smoking, increasing physical activity, and diet, investment in education, food policies, and infrastructure to support and encourage these diseases. International observational data suggests that obesity has a higher morbidity in association with overweight, and it is one of the major determinants of other chronic major social diseases. Obesity is considered to be one of the underlying factors of the complications of pregnancy, menstrual irregularities, stress inconsistence, and psychological disorders also. Environmental and social factors are likely to be very important in individuals' tendency to be obese during childhood and gain weight progressively with age during adulthood. As the foundation of lifelong good health is laid in childhood, healthy lifestyle habits, including healthy eating and physical activity, can lower the risk of becoming obese and developing these related diseases. In this context, schools have a very rich opportunity to improve youth health and tackle with obesity before problem takes hold. The schools play a critical role by establishing safe and supporting environment with policies and practices of dietary and physical activity behaviors of children and adolescents. Contemporary life in both developed and developing nations has markedly reduced the opportunities of being active with the increasing availability of transportation that replaced walking or bicycle riding. Regular physical activity is a key element in prevention of obesity and weight control, also reducing the risks of heart attacks, stroke, type 2 diabetes, depression, colon and breast cancer, and osteoporotic fractures. School-based physical education is a significant source of physical activity for young people. It's very important to maintain these programs as they would become lifetime habits of the youth. In Northern Cyprus, the Ministry of Education has been implementing a successful policy of nutrition at schools in coordination with school family boards and administrator boards. As part of their policy, the supply or access to unhealthy food like sweetened soft drinks, crisps, and low-nutrient foods have been restricted. Instead, school canteens are encouraged to supply fresh fruits, unsweetened fruit juices, and healthy snacks for the children. In the school cafeterias, meals are programmed by dietitians, encouraging students for the habits of eating healthy foods rather than low-nutrient fast food type snacks, like fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and high-fiber cereals, healthy meat products, little salt and sugar content, and no use of saturated trans fats are the basic ingredients of these meals. In a way, the aim is to make the youth gain the habit of eating the components of Mediterranean diet. Studies have shown that this type of diet is very effective in reducing the risks of the diseases that we have just mentioned. Cyprus Turkish Diabetes Association and Organization of Cancer Patients have been very active consistently, both for the school children and the adults, in bringing out the awareness about healthy nutrition by organizing conferences and seminars. And they organize drawing competitions about the intake of healthy food products and hazards of smoking, just to make the awareness of the problem. Finally, a balanced nutrition, a 30 minutes walk a day is the easiest physical activity one can perform, and keeping away the stress factors and smoking from our lives can help for a healthy life and well-being. Thank you very much.
I do please all the speakers to come up to take a picture, please.